Hi, I believe that all children are capable of learning and accomplishing great things. But I think that as parents and educators, we need to realize that all children learn differently at different paces, and some kids are going to require a lot more support and patience than others. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you agree with me? My name is Norma Jean Maxwell, and I've been doing some videos, fun little learning activities, engaging ways to teach your kids while you're at home. And I've had a really great response, so I thank you for that. But today, I wanted to speak with you as a parent, not an educator, and just share a little bit of my story. I think I've mentioned that I have two sons that are 18 and 20 now, and today I'd like to speak to you about my oldest son, who is a great guy, super proud of him. But when he was young, he had some significant learning challenges. He had hearing loss due to fluid on his eardrums, and it went undetected until he was about 3, and then he had the tubes put in that drain it, and didn't really think too much about it. Very common, lots of little ones have that. And then when it was time for him to start kindergarten, I had the choice, because his birthday is very late in the year, I had the choice of enrolling him or holding him back a year. And because he was quite socially delayed, he was a bit standoffish with other kids, he was a little bit behind academically than kids his age as well. I thought, why not? It's better if he's the oldest kid in class than the youngest kid in class. So ultimately I made the decision to keep him back an extra year, and I'm really glad I did. I still didn't really consider or recognize the issues because of that hearing loss. And then around Christmas time of kindergarten, he came home one day and he was really upset. And I said, "What's going on, bud?" And he said, "I didn't get to play centers this afternoon." And I said, "Well, why not?" He said, "Well, the teacher told us to put all our stuff away and I didn't do it, but I didn't hear her." And then, the red flag went up and I realized, uh-oh. So back to the doctor, and it takes a while to get in to see the specialist, and then you have to book the audiologist, and then it takes a while for the surgeon. And in the end, he didn't get the surgery until a few days before the end of kindergarten. But in the meantime, I spoke to his teacher, and honestly, the woman felt so bad. I felt bad for her. She was so upset. But when she realized the problem, she was more than willing to work with us. And she made sure from that day forward that when they were at the carpet, my son was sitting right in front of her. She made sure that before she gave instructions, she called his name and had his attention. And she was really wonderful. Going into grade 1 that fall, it was becoming more and more apparent that the gap in his learning was getting bigger. And the thing about kids is they realize very early on that they don't know what that kid knows, and it starts to affect them emotionally and tear down their confidence. And that's exactly what happened with my son. He became very anxious about schoolwork. He became a lot of anxiety around any kind of assignment or work that was being done in class. He wouldn't even think about joining a team sport because he was just so worried he was going to make a mistake. He wouldn't put his hand up in class. Same thing. He was just worried that he would make a mistake and look dumb in front of his peers. And it took me a while to realize just what the ramifications were of everything that he'd missed in all those formative years. But it was significant. And so I'm really grateful that I have a background in special ed, and it gave me the understanding and the confidence to speak with his teachers regularly. And I have to say that I'm so grateful. He had nothing but the best teachers all the way through, who were more than willing to collaborate with me, to work with me. And I often would go, "Well, what's coming up in science, socials, math, whatever?" And then I would pre-teach him so that when it came time for them to learn in class, he'd already know it. And he would know what the other kids didn't know, and it just helped to repair his confidence. I'd like to say that this we turned this around in a year or two, but in all honesty, it was probably grade 8 or 9 before he caught up. And even then, another couple of years before he really became more confident and like eased off on that perfectionism where everything had to be perfect. And there's a part of me that wishes he didn't have to go through all that, and that I didn't have to go through all that, because it was a lot of work and a lot of trust and belief in him, and lifting and pushing and supporting. But I look at the adult that he's become, and he is such a great young man. I mean, he's got all these admirable qualities. He's tenacious and hardworking, and he is very clear and understands his strengths and his challenges. And now he's taking mechanical engineering technology, and I've never met a kid who's as hardworking and determined as him. Like, he never gives up. And I have to question that, had he not had to go through that when he was younger, would he be the same adult he is today? I don't know. But I just wanted to share this with you, because when I'm teaching these little activities, I want you to know that I get it. I have lived in those shoes as the parent and as the educator of a kid that really struggles. And I see how it affects them, and how it affects them emotionally and socially and academically. And as their parent, you are their biggest rock star fan, and you drive that boat, you drive that race car towards their success. It's our job to bring in all the other resources we can, including their teachers, and get the support that those kids need to be successful, because they will be successful. I mean it when I say that every child is capable of learning and doing great things. And I'm just thinking that there are going to be a lot of parents out there that are in the beginning stages of this, and if you're not one, you know of one. And maybe just hearing this story and having that knowledge that it's going to happen, they're going to get there, but how they get there and how long it takes them to get there is going to be different, right? It's not going to look like the other kid in the class, and that's okay. Just trust that they'll get there. So anyways, I hope this helps somebody out there. Hope you pass this along to someone you think it might help and encourage. And I'm always here to talk. So take care, stay safe.